be submitted prior to the time the item is announced. Completion of the form is voluntary. Persons that do not fill out the form but still wish to speak will be allowed to do so. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes. Please turn off all electronic devices and please no personal attacks.
As a point of order, I do want to note that on the agenda, it does say special meeting, but it's not a special meeting. Just want to make sure that's on record.
I understood it's not a special meeting. At this point, anyone would like to make any public comments? No public comments. Moving to item 4, approval of minutes. Are there any comments or changes to the minutes from our last meeting? If there are no changes to the meeting, is there a motion to approve the minutes from our meeting on March 21st, I believe?
March 26th.
March 26th. All right. If there are no changes to the minutes, is there a motion to approve the minutes from our meeting on March 26th, 2024?
I'll motion to approve the minutes.
I second that motion.
Commissioner Pfister moves to approve the minutes and Commissioner Raj seconds. Is there all in favor signify by saying aye? Commissioner Green?
Aye.
Commissioner Raj Singh?
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher?
Aye.
Aye. Minutes approved. I need to run to my car.
Camilla, can you hear us on Zoom?
Yes, I can.
Thank you.
I can see now. All right, so moving to policy, item number 5, approval of picnic rental policies and recommend to board for adoption. Laura, do you have a presentation for that or?
I do.
All right.
So staff recommends that the Mountain House Parks and Recreation Commission approve the picnic rental policy and recommend it to the Board of Directors for adoption. So just a little background, staff presented a draft version of the policies at your meeting on February 21st. And then again at the special meeting last month on March 26th. It outlines the general policies, regulations, and the process for renting a picnic area separate from the field rentals. The new policies propose that rentals be offered daily instead of its currently hourly basis. And after review and comments, the commission requested that the picnic rental policies be brought back to today's meeting. Furthermore, the commissions discussed 3 options to allow more flexibility for customers with a cost savings and to accommodate more customers, including remaining as an hourly rental or giving the option of an all-day rental or perhaps even a half-day rental. So the district contracts with Brightview Landscaping Services. Brightview's weekend porter services service the picnic areas twice per weekend day. And the weekly porter service costs $709.08. So the new policies identify 10 picnic areas with either 2, 3, or 6 tables per area, and they can accommodate 60, 30, or up to 20 customers. The assumption is that the more tables and space there are, the higher capacity and the more services are needed. So amongst the 10 picnic areas, there are 32 picnic tables. And we also have a large open space at Wickland Gazebo that can accommodate up to 30 people. So we equivalated that to 3 tables. So in total, we figured there are 35 tables. We divided that by the cost of the Brightview services, and we came up with an estimate of $20.26 per table. So in addition to the maintenance costs, staff estimate it takes about an hour to manage a rental from its start to its finish. And it's $43.75, which includes the hourly wages and benefits. And essentially that's reviewing the application when it comes in, checking and filing the insurance paperwork, following up with the renter on any outstanding items, fees, to the end of the rental when we issue the deposit. This district also charges a 3.75% merchant fee per dollar. And that's from our online recreation program. So the breakdown is as follows. I lumped the parks all together if they had 6 tables, 3 tables, and 2 tables. I took the 6 tables and times it by the average cost per table, which was $20.26. I added in the staff hourly cost to do a rental, and I came up with a cost per rental total. Then I added on the 3.75% merchant fee. So the far right column indicates the total cost for a renter to rent a picnic facility. The idea is that at the last meeting, you wanted to know what the total costs were to manage a facility, picnic facility, so that you could determine as a collective group if you want to go back to the hourly rate, if you want to do a half day or an all day. Any questions up until this point?
Laura, I have one question. Can you go back 1 page, please?
Sure.
You mentioned that it takes 1 hour to review 1 application.
It takes 1 hour from start to finish to handle a picnic rental reservation. And that's also communicating with the customer. It's all of the inquiries we get every day for picnic rentals. Out of the 10 that we get per week, maybe one of them will result in an actual rental itself. So that's what they determined. It was about an hour.
Okay. And the next slide, one question on that is, so that table which you were showing, that the top one, 171.51, that includes 4 areas, right? Fountain area, basketball, and Cuesta.
Each one of those areas costs approximately $171 to maintain.
Fountain area 171, basketball court 171, is it like that?
Mm-hmm.
And Cuesta 171.
Correct.
That's per day?
That's what it would cost for a picnic rental at that facility site. It
Okay.
includes the maintenance for that facility site for that day and the hour staff time to manage that particular picnic rental.
That's a full day rental, right?
Correct. The commission also requested that staff check on the insurance requirements. I did check with our risk manager. I did not get an answer yet. Insurance costs may deter renters from reserving a picnic area. The commission requested that staff research. There were 3 items that came up. If insurance is even needed for such a low liability rental, if insurance can be bought through the district, or if insurance premiums could be lowered, reducing the cost to the renter. Nothing has been updated at the time of this report, but if the insurance requirements do get updated and I am notified, the policy will reflect the new district mandate. It will not need to come back to the commission for approval. So in your packet, you have the draft policies as they are after our 2 previous meetings, taking into account all of the suggestions and corrections. The updated policies what they need for your approval tonight is either just to decide if you would like to do it as an hourly, half-day, or all-day rental. And then at that point, you'll have to decide what the rates are. So if you notice in your packet, those columns are blank on that particular page where it has all the rental rates. So tonight, again, you'll have to decide hourly, half-day, or rental options, and then the rates. And you can use the costs from the table to help you determine what kind of rates you want and if you would like to do half-day, all-day, or hourly. Any questions?
Any commissioner has any questions for Ms. Laura?
I had a comment. This is something I had.
We're not taking
Uh,
comments.
bro- It is related to the brief that Laura just gave, and it was regarding the insurance. So one of the clauses that we have as a requirement right now, which is hold harmless, does bump the insurance up quite substantially. So I didn't get an answer back whether that was if it was possible to remove that or not.
I'm sorry, Umar, to remove the clause requiring insurance?
No, remove the hold harmless clause requirement.
The hold harmless requirement?
Yeah, so in our insurance requirement, we have it requires the insurance to include hold harmless clause,
Mhm.
and that basically limits the number of insurers that will cover you, and inadvertently it increases the cost of insurance substantially.
Right now, we have to leave the insurance requirements as they are until I'm directed otherwise, but all of these questions have been presented to the risk manager, but I will follow up on the hold harmless clause.
Thank
So-
you.
Clarification. So if we get the hold harmless clause removed out of the policy, it will lower the policy.
I can't answer that question. I don't
But
know.
that's what he's saying, right? That's what he's saying?
I believe, Umar, you're saying that.
That's
that hold harmless
what I'm saying.
prevents-
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Because a number of insurers actually will not insure you unless that with that clause. So which is why it kind of narrows down the pool of insurers and raises the overall price.
Or are there any other comments?
Clarifying questions?
Are there any clarifying questions?
I have a couple of one if once you are done, like
Do you have a comment or a question?
question.
All right, go ahead.
So one question is, first is Laura, the insurance thing. Will the risk manager get back I know it's mandated right now, but will the risk manager get back on whether this is required or there is flexibility? So that part is not going to be finalized today,
Correct.
correct? Okay. One option which is that to have a liability waiver on the website where when they sign up for the classes or programs, customers can sign it. And that just one of the ideas of.
So those
insurance.
waivers are a personal liability waiver. In the case of a facility rental or picnic rental, the renter is liable for their party and their guests and their attendees.
But that can be done through the liability waiver on the website form. I'm just saying, is that something, can think about it? Because the rest of the cities do not require any insurance.
Well, that's the question we've asked the risk manager, if it's even required.
Yes, any city, Manteca, Tracy, Dublin, San Ramon, none requires insurance. So there's something to be,
I believe some of those cities do require.
only
insurance.
if you need food vendor or a barbecue or you're bringing some jump house, yes, on that cases.
Not all, a lot of cities do require insurance. Unfortunately, it's one of those costs of doing business. But I've given the risk manager several different options to see what they could provide for us.
Okay.
So Laura, can you do me a favor? Can you present those options, pricing options again, full day, half day, and hourly, if you have that available?
What options?
The pricing options, the full day, what you presented during the last meeting? The pricing table with, if we do full day rental.
Fortunately, I don't think I have those with me. I believe the idea was that based on what you decided and based on these fees.
Yeah.
You would decide what the fees were going to be. But I believe it was 120, 90, and 30. 120 for the 6 table, 90 for the 3 table, and 630 for the 2 table.
Was that for the full day? 120, 90, and 30?
Yes, maybe it's 120, 90, and 60. Again, that's just estimates. Those are not exact. The idea was that we were taking the existing current fee and multiplying it by 3. The average rental is about 3 hours long.
Question, so for a whole day rental, the cost to us for the 6 tables is $171.51.
Correct.
So if we're paying out $171.51, but only bringing in 120, that's what we need to discuss, correct?
Correct.
And I have another clarifying question. If we hypothetically do a half-day rental, does that second or the first cost column on total daily, is that still the full cost or would it be half of that cost?
The cost actually in the second to last cost would remain the same no matter if it was hourly, all day, or half day.
So if we had a half-day rental at Central Park, it would still cost 121 for the daily maintenance?
Correct.
And then if it was, let's say hypothetically, there are 2 half-day rentals, would the staff hourly also double at that point? Because you're having an hour for each? Okay,
Correct. Yeah.
got it. Thank you.
Yes. So again, I'll clarify, the maintenance costs are fixed. The hourly cost for staff would increase each rental on the same day, if they were scheduled the same day.
Because my question is that, Laura, we were last time proposing 120 for the full day.
Correct.
Based on this, then that will be a huge jump. Um, Not sure why it's so high maintaining that one single area. But if you have a rate something like 180 for a whole day, then it's very high. It- I'm just saying is that last time we saw 120, the rate on the full day.
So what I did is I multiplied the average rental, which is 3 hours, by the current rate to come up with the suggested rate of 120.
That's still applicable, right?
Yes.
120, and then we can think about half day. Maybe we can think about 3 hours, half day and full day. Or half day, like 4 hours and full day.
Using the city of Manteca, they have all-day rental. They also have a 5-hour
Correct.
rental, which is about 3/4 of the full price, which I believe Commissioner Pfister may have recommended at the last meeting.
Like we can think about like 5 hours or less and full day, 2 options like that. Or we can think about 4 hours and full day.
And
What was the-
hypothetically, if we had hourly rentals, that, let's say if there's 4 in a day, that hourly cost is times 4, right? 43.75.
Mhm, mhm.
So I would recommend not doing hourly then. Just my opinion.
What consists of a full day? How many hours? If someone rented it for a full day?
Right now, we're recommending a full day is 8 AM to 1 hour prior to 1 hour after sundown.
And then a half a day would be,
That would be your determination. If we do a half-day rental, I think the idea is that other people would be able to rent it. So you might want to choose the hours, maybe a morning and afternoon rental.
So in that case, would there be 2 half days and option for full day? So somebody could decide they want to do half day from in the morning and somebody could take the afternoon.
Mhm.
So basically there'll be 3 options, half day morning, half day afternoon, or full day.
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
that would be a great option.
One clarifying question for the manager. Is the fees, the proposed fees still stand from the last time, or do we have a new schedule now?
They can if that's what you recommend. So tonight, when you make your motion, if you want to approve it, you need to put that in your motion, what
Right.
you want to charge.
Thank you.
Laura, when were the last fees? When were they established? How long ago were they established?
Unfortunately, I don't know. I believe these picnic policies were, oh, I do have that, September 8, 2021. And again, I'll remind you that we are, as a department, assessing all of our fees, all of our rental fees, program fees, processing fees. We'll be taking that to the board as one collective item. So whatever fees we come up with tonight aren't necessarily for the future. They can be, they will be charged until the board accepts our new master fee schedule. And at that point, we can determine if it's too much, if it's too little, or if it should stay the same.
Will it come to us again?
It'll come to you first, and
Okay.
then we'll make the recommendation to the board
When
or
is-
council. at that
When
point.
will come the, sorry, master fee? What's the timeline?
I'm hoping to get it to the commission in June and then to the board come July. I'm sorry, the council.
And does the commission have to come with a price today? Or,
Today, yes, if we want to approve them, we do.
Okay.
If you choose to offer hourly, we can keep with the current hourly fees.
how much is that?
So the Central Park Fountain Picnic area is 45 an hour for residents. The other picnic areas with 6 tables are $30 an hour. And then the smaller picnic areas are $20 an hour.
So Laura, would be your recommendation if you do morning rental? What time would that be? Would it be from 8 to 12 or?
Well,
eight-
when I did the report for
Yeah.
all of the rentals from last year,
Yeah.
majority of them were kind of right in the middle of the day. They were 10 to 2 or 11 to 3. So they kind of go between both morning and afternoon, but I would suggest if you're going to do a half day, maybe an 8 to 1 and then a 1 to 6. And then probably majority of the rentals take place during daylight standard time, so maybe you could even make it later.
So 8 to 1 and then 1 hour for cleanup and then do 8.
Maybe 2 to 7.
2 to 7?
Yeah, so they're both 5-hour rentals.
And then your recommendation for if we do half day is just take the full day and divide it by 5 hours or divided, full day is 8 hours. So divide that by 8 hours and come up with some or half day price.
Mhm. You could also incentivize the customer to get a full day just
Right.
for just it's a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, since I don't remember the pricing from last time, so but I think that would to my fellow commissioners, I think that would be my recommendation. We move with half full morning rental, afternoon rental, and an option for full day rental, and use the pricing what Laura had recommended last time because those were a lot less than if you go by the cost, it's going to be a lot more for the residents. So so that would be my recommendation. The only thing is we don't know the price, so we cannot really I don't remember exactly.
So the 6 table
Yeah.
where areas were 120, the 3 table areas were 90 and the 2 tables were 60,
60.
which
Right.
is approximately 3 times what the current hourly rate is. And I use 3 times because the average rental is 3 hours. Sometimes 4.
All right. So Laura, I'm going to repeat this. So 6 table is 120, 3 table is 90, and 2 table is 60.
Right, correct.
If we keep 120 for a whole day and 75 for 5 hours, maybe? Half day, 75 and 120 full day.
I think we should not make it complicated. We should just do the full day, half day, not hourly.
No, not
It's
hourly.
too complicated.
Correct, not hourly.
So if someone rents it for half a day, then obviously another person can rent it for the other half a day. So I don't necessarily think we need to say half day, whole day. You know what I mean? It's either half day rental or a full day rental.
Yeah, primarily that's what we're getting to all because then you'll have an option for morning rental and afternoon rental and then full day rental. And then we just have to figure out now because it's for 6 table, it's 120. How much that's for full day and how much should it be for half day?
Half,
Exactly half,
half.
$60.
I just don't want to get it too complicated, not just for
Commissioner Green?
staff, but also for,
Yes, Camilla?
Oh, thank you. Okay, sorry. I think maybe something was wrong with my speakers. This isn't the proper time for discussion. We haven't opened discussion yet. We're just taking questions to Laura and staff. Thank you.
Thank you, Camilla.
So I guess a more clarifying question, the 120, 90 and 60 was based on a 3-hour rental, basically
On the current price.
on the current pricing.
Right.
Okay. So I think we need to factor that in with the half day costs. But
So Camilla, does the chair open it up for discussion before they make a motion?
Yeah, so right now, we're doing clarifying questions to Laura and staff. Once those clarifying questions are complete, we'll close that, open for public comment, close for public comment, and then open discussion for the board or for the committee.
Okay.
Yes.
Or any additional questions for Laura? Are there any public comments on park rental policies?
We do have a question on Zoom. She's asking if you do hourly, will you have gaps for cleanup?
There would be, but we would have a gap probably about an hour, and we would schedule the porter service to come during that time.
If
So
there
that
were-
would be only, only if you approve hourly though. If you don't approve hourly, then they would have to rent out for the whole 4 to 5 hour duration, and then there would be only 1 hour gap. Because it seems like the overhead is a little bit high, so if we rent out hourly, wouldn't we be losing money?
Is this the public commenter?
Yes, my
Yes.
public comment was the one that was just read.
Okay, sorry, and was your name read?
No, my name is Louis Lee Pham.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Ms. Pham, can you repeat your question?
So my question is, will there be gaps in between hourly rentals? You said yes. And then I asked, so if we did not elect to rent out hourly, then it would be the 4 hour span and then 1 hour gap, or 5 hour span and then 1 hour gap. Because
Correct.
it seems like if we take a break for, isn't 1 hour a little bit too long? I mean, it's a picnic table. You don't have to clean for that long, right? So because if you rent out for only 1 hour and then break for an hour, then you're not renting it for another hour. So then you would actually be losing money by scheduling it out for so long. You know, maybe like a half an hour would be better, because then you could rent it out, turn it over quickly.
Typically, between gaps for all of our rentals, we have an hour gap, but that's to account for staff time. It doesn't mean that they're going to be there immediately when the rental's over. They might come half hour into that 1 hour gap. So 1 hour gap is standard.
Then would we be losing money if we rented hourly?
If the commission chooses to rent it hourly, they'll determine what the price will be for that. You wouldn't pay for the hour gap if that's what you're asking.
No, I mean, the city would lose money because of maintenance costs if you rented it hourly at a rate that is, because the cleanup time is so long, you know? If you shorten the cleanup time to half an hour, then you would make more money in that gap. And people would be able to rent for hourly rates.
So
It
we're not being charged from the landscape services per hour. We're being charged per the day.
Oh, I see.
Mhm.
Okay. So, but even then, if you shorten the cleanup time, you could rent it out again quicker.
We could if we could, but 1 hour standard is pretty standard. It accounts for the transportation from one picnic site to another if there are a lot held on one day. Maybe one picnic site might have more debris than another and might require a little bit more maintenance. So we'll keep it an hour.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have 3 minutes.
Hello, I'd like to remind everybody that in previous cost, there was a second component that's not seen here, an application fee, and it was suggested to be $20. So technically, when we are looking into $120 basic fee, it means that in most of cases, it would be from common residents, $140 total. So
If you look in your packet, there is no more,
Mhm.
there's no application.
there is no application fee because it mentioned in some other parts of in cancellation policy, it mentioned application fee, maybe. Maybe I missed it, sorry. And second part, that's, sorry.
So the application fee was removed. Picnic rentals are now offered online. There's no staff time in order for, before staff would actually enter in the application, which would be another additional amount of time. And there was a processing fee for that. That is now since been removed.
Are there any other public comments on park rental policies? Or if we don't have any more public comments, I'd like to move to discussion by commissioners on the rental policy, park rental policies.
Chair, if I may,
Yes.
may I provide some guidance on the motion to limit debate amongst the commission?
Can you repeat that, please?
Not so far. So I asked the attorney to step in if there was if
Okay.
anyone wanted to make a motion to limit debate. But if no one has that question right now, we'll continue.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Mr. Chair, is the floor open for discussion?
Yes.
I would like to make a comment for the commission and Mr. Chair to consider. This policy has been brought to us in February. Then again in March, thanks to staff for doing all of the research. A lot of questions have been asked, a lot of discussion have happened. The last research that staff has performed has brought forward the actual costs, which is good information. I believe that I would like to recommend to the commission for consideration that incentivize, if the commission so chooses to rent out half day, to incentivize the full day in some way, meaning charge slightly extra for half day, because otherwise there is no reason for anyone to rent out for the full day, because we have seen from the past data presented to us that majority of the rentals happen between 11 and 3 p.m. As it is, now we know that it was highly subsidized, the recommendation of the fees from last time. I think it is highly advantageous to the public at this rate. I would venture to say go with the original recommendation of full day rental for $120 for 6 tables. The folks, members of public are here today. Folks have spoken. We have spent ample time on this topic. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
If I may. So just echoing some of that, I think if we are doing the full day, I think we should keep the half day option open as well. But I do agree that it should not be half the cost. There should be an incentive of doing full day. So something like maybe 3/4 of a full day for half day rental, or something similar. So that it incentivize people to actually go for the full day, which is substantially lower cost than it was traditionally with the hourly rate. Keeping the half day option open, I think in my mind is important, because what if you force people to do a full day, and they end up using half day, now the facility, the park, the picnic area may be just left unclean for the rest of the day, which is not something that, should be desirable. I mean, if somebody's only going to use it for half a day, we want to know that's what they're doing and have the crew come in and clean it up as soon as possible.
Wouldn't they clean anyway? Even if it was a half a day rental, they still
Well,
would be obligated to come in after that half day and clean the tables. That's just a,
no,
point.
that's what I mean. That's what I mean, that if it's a half day, if I book it for half a day, the crew is going to time it so that they come after the half day. But if I only have the option of booking for full day, the crew will come at the end of the day. But I may only use it for half the day and now leave the tables in messy condition for just regular park goers. It will look bad. So my suggestion is that we have both the options.
Yes,
My feedback is that, so half a day and full day options. And half day, we should identify how many hours. So there should be something there. It's not infinite. So 5 hours, for example, we identify, come up with some number hours. Okay, half day is 5 hours. Anything less than 5 hours, you pay still for 5 hours, or full day. So for example, full day 120 and half day maybe 75. It's not exact half, but it's more than that.
So I got a comment on the pricing. The 120, 90, and 60 structure was based on a 3-hour rental. Why are we charging that for a full day now? I would propose that we put that at the half day rate. $120 for a full day at Central Park, we'd lose $50, right? $171. Why are we charging 120? Doesn't make any sense. I would say that's the half day rate, because again, the half day rate, the 120, 90, 60 structure is based on a 3-hour rental. Right? Let's think a little bit about that. Just that doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, the price master fees schedule is still not out. And I think the final price will still be done once that master fee schedule comes out. But if you think about 171 or 180 for half a day or full day, that's very
The
high.
cost is right here.
No, I know.
$171, but you want to charge 120.
No,
We lose $50, right?
maybe 150, but if you do
You're still
180
losing
for a
money.
whole day, that's pretty high. I don't know.
I don't
just
think
a
that's high. I
feedback.
think that's very reasonable.
Or
Well,
then maybe,
I mean, strictly speaking, we don't lose $50 because some of that cost is coming from residents anyway. In form of, I mean, it's not as if that's the only income coming.
and on top of that, insurance cost another, we will know later on whether insurance will be required. But at this time, if insurance is there, another $100 to $150 on top of this, $300 for $350, it's very expensive compared to any city around here. It's the highest price.
But you're renting a very large park for a full day. It's going to cost money.
I'm talking about 6 table, right? For example, 6 table Central Park.
You rent Central Park for the full day. There's going to be a cost to it.
But-
I'm along the lines of Commissioner Pfister too. That's why I asked in the beginning, was that the total cost, 171.51? Because, and that's why I asked, when were the other fees assessed, to see how long ago those prices was. But if we as a city are going to pay someone, are going to take in the cost of 171.51, but we're only charging 120, we are losing $51. Because we
Well,
have to
not
pay
quite,
staff.
because I mean, ultimately the residents are paying regardless of whether they use it or not. They're paying for the Parks and Rec facilities anyway. So I mean, you can't. I mean, it's not a straightforward calculation from that perspective that per day is costing this much. I mean, the residents are paying for it, the park facility. In any case,
And some of that is sunk cost also. I think those Brightview are not specifically coming to clean. They're going to be there regardless whether the rentals are, we have the rentals or not.
This is true. Just as if maintenance was taking care of a ball field, they're going to take care of it regardless if there's a rental on it or not. We're just trying to recoup our costs. The costs that are fixed for a rental are the staff hourly rate.
Yeah.
That is a fixed. The other costs are estimates. And then again, like I said, they're divided amongst 35 different tables. We use that calculation. So it is kind of an estimate. But that last column there gives you an indication of about what it costs to run a rental at a picnic facility.
So again, my sentiment on this is that very recently we had a lot of comments on social media that the rental prices are really high. Somebody wanted to rent a picnic table. It was going to cost them $400. So there was a big outrage about it. And
And now, if I may, if it was about $400, it's probably because they wanted to rent it for 8 or 9 hours at the current hourly rate.
that is, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And as it is, a lot of our taxes are going towards maintaining these parks. So, and to encourage, rentals. I mean, if we have really high fees, then people can still come to the park without any reservation and use the park. So, if you want to encourage people renting our facilities and paying to rent them, then I think we need to somehow subsidize that. Not necessarily subsidize, but make come up with a fees that is a little bit easier for residents to pay. And so my recommendation would be to do morning rent, half day and full day. So in that you'll have morning rental, afternoon rental, and a full day rental, and go with what Laura you had recommended for 6 table, $120. And I did a quick math. If we want to do half day rental for 6 tables, that comes out to about $15 an hour if you do 8-hour rental, right? So if and then if you upcharge for half day, you upcharge by 13%, that comes out to about $17. So that'll be $85 for half day rental. So my recommendation would be applying the 13% to all the 3 table and 2 table rates, and give a little bit incentive for people who want to rent for the whole day as opposed to half day. So
85 for half a day and 120 full day, right? Yeah, I think so. We cannot think about directly looking at cost. No one does like this because I think we subsidize to the residents. Otherwise, this will cost $300 to book 6 tables, which is way too high. I also agree that 120 and 85 is a good breakdown.
With respect to subsidy, with that same token, I would suggest we should not subsidize for non-residents. Currently, the way it's written on page 11, non-residents would pay 20% more, which would be, with this scenario, 144, which still does not cover the entire cost. So I think that should be reconsidered and maybe moved to 50% of base rate. That would be 180, which would recover full cost.
I think non-residents already have plus 25%, right, Laura?
Right now it says 20%.
No, they paid plus 20% anyway. on
Right.
top of it. So
So in this scenario would be 144.
Right now,
dollars.
the non-resident pays double what the resident pays.
But under this scenario that we are discussing, 20% of 120, that's 144, still way lower than the cost to the district. Anyways, food for thought. Thank you.
Camilla, let me ask you a question.
Yes,
Can the chair make a motion or
yes, the chair can make a motion. It's not typical, but the chair can make a motion.
okay, thank you.
Or if, yeah, my recommendation is, again, I'll repeat myself, half-day rental, which constitutes morning rental, afternoon rental, and a full day rental. And, stick with what was recommended for full day at $120 for 6 tables. And for half day, it'll be $85. So if that's the recommendation, if someone would like to make a motion.
I have a question first. When the 6 tables, this total maintenance cost, is that for all 6 tables or per table?
All 6.
Okay. So can we continue with all of the rentals before you make a motion so we can vote on it all at one time? Because right now we're just talking about the 6 tables, but we still need to do the 3 tables, Cordes, Hanson, Wickland, and the 2 tables in Dairy and Joy, Wickland, areas A, B, and C.
So someone could make a motion and put all of those costs in their motion.
Right, yeah.
6
that's what I'm
tables, 3
saying.
tables, 2 tables,
Right,
all in one motion.
last time the 3 tables, $60, 2 tables, $30. Henson, $60, 3 tables.
so if we stay with the same rental rate, then we just need to discuss the half-day rate
Right.
for the other
For
2.
those park, right? Henson, we just
Exactly.
discussed the central. Now we need to go down to Henson, Cuesta, Cordes.
Just let me remind everyone, this breakdown is cost basis, not what we had discussed last time for the pricing. If you're looking at this pricing,
No, I'm talking about the price to the customer for other parks, Henson, Cuesta,
so
Cordes.
for 6 table, it is $120 for full day. And 3 tables, full day is $90. And 2 tables is $60 for full day.
How much full day?
If I may, what the chair had suggested, which was 120 and 85. 85 is just $1 more than 70% of the full day price. So the simplest way to do this for everything would be that half day is 70% of full day.
Yep, so
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
You can also put that in your motion.
That just make it 30% off or 70% off the
Yeah, so any.
Base price, full day
Any
price.
commissioner can make a motion right now.
Yeah.
Determine the fees, and then you can take a vote. And if vote fails, then somebody else can make a motion for something different.
I'm assuming the alternatives can't make a motion, yeah? So,
No, because you won't be voting.
correct. Just,
Chair, did you want to ask for a motion?
Yes, I'm just writing down such a long, motion, so
Okay.
just give me 1 second. I'm
Oh.
gonna try to read it out.
While you're working on that, Chair, please do consider the non-resident rate. It's currently 20%. My suggestion is move it to 50% of the base rate.
And Commissioner Singh, when I make a motion, you can amend that motion to add that also.
Commissioner Singh, are you referring to the non-resident 20% base rate going to 50%?
Correct,
Okay.
correct.
Commissioner Raj, what was your recommendation to charge 50%?
Yes, so let me explain. If we go with 120 for 6 tables, 20% would land you at 144, which is still below the 171.51 number that we have on the screen here. If you go to 50%, that would be $180, which is then covers the entire cost, which also is in spirit with Mr. Fitzer's earlier comments about charging the fair rate. I don't think we should subsidize for non-residents. Residents already pay their fair share of taxes, which is why we're subsidizing in this case. That is my reasoning.
Chair, if I may, while you are completely able to make a motion, it's atypical unless you're quite convinced that no one else in the body will do so at the time.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anyone is
Okay.
making motion right now.
Should he call for a motion? And then if no one motions, then he make the motion?
That would be acceptable.
Okay.
We have had this discussion for over 5 hours, 6 hours. So is there any commissioner would like to make a motion to approve half-day rental that constitute full day and half day, morning rental and afternoon rental and full day rental with prices that were recommended by the staff?
Are you asking them?
Yes, I'm asking them
Or
to.
are you making that motion?
No, I'm asking.
So you need to ask for them for a motion and
Yep.
then let them make the statement.
Okay. Can I say what my recommendation is?
If you're still in discussion, yes.
Okay. All right,
We
so-
can still be in discussion because I need to be clear on what you're saying, because I know we've discussed it, but I don't think I've heard clearly the whole full. You know what I mean? We've talked so long on one particular thing. We have not completed everything. So I think it just, what are you motioning on?
Well, all right, so.
Okay, let me make it clearer. So we talked about the picnic tables. All of them, the 6, the 3, the 2. We talked about the non-residential rental policy. Is that the only things that we have to discuss regarding this before we make a motion? Because I wasn't clear if we were really done discussing it yet.
You also have to, one other item you have to consider is what constitutes half day? We already know what full day is, 8 to 1 hour after sunset. If you are going to go with a half day rental, then you have to define it.
Yeah, for 5 hours.
I think it was discussed 8 to 1 with a break from 1 to 2 for cleaning and then 2 to 8 for the other part of the day. That's what was discussed? Laura?
Yeah, 2 to 7. That'll be for another 5 hours.
It would probably be 8, 2 to 8, dusk, dawn, however you put it.
That is fine because after that, people can just hang around. So, Ms. Green, again, Commissioner Green, okay, so what we are discussing is that what my recommendation is, we do half day rentals and full day rental. So half day would be morning rental and afternoon rental. Morning rental would be from 8 to 1, and afternoon rental would be from 2 to 7, 2 to 8, or 2 to 8. And then option for a full day rental.
You know, you can put this in a motion so that we can get.
No,
to
but I
the-
just want to clarify, just make sure
You
what
can
we're.
clarify in your motion.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that after I just
Okay.
make Ms. Green, because she wasn't clear. And with prices that were recommended.
No, I'm clear on what you want. I just wasn't sure if we were done discussing this whole thing.
Yeah, I
Because
think,
my thing is, I don't want to keep going back and forth
yeah,
over the same thing. So I want to finish it.
yeah.
Okay.
I think,
So would it, I was just going to suggest, would it make sense to actually not necessarily have everything in one motion? I mean, there are multiple parts to this, and which is why this is, I think, seemingly complicated. The one part is, the half day, full day, morning, afternoon, and full day. So that's one part. The pricing is another part. And then the third part is basically non-resident.
Yes,
So-
you can have that motion. We just need to
Yeah.
get a motion on the floor so that you can vote on something and then move on to the next motion.
Exactly. So just do if there is a recommendation of doing, the half day and full day, which is basically the half day, we spelled out the timings, is morning and afternoon, and a full day is obviously full day. It might be, if there's agreement on that, that might be the first motion to actually push forward with, or somebody to table.
That's acceptable. Right.
Yes, that's fine.
So, all right, I'd like to motion to approve half day rental that constitutes morning rentals and afternoon rentals. Morning rentals would be from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Afternoon rental will be from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. and full day rental.
2 to 7, sorry, right? 2 to 7 or 2 to 8?
Doesn't matter.
Wouldn't it be easier to just say 5 hour each? And then since we already know it starts at 8, then
So Camilla,
somebody needs-
he's made a motion on the floor. Do they have to vote and then discuss?
No, that they could discuss before voting,
Okay,
as long as it's clear exactly what the motion is. So I would recommend if you make a motion and then have discussion prior to voting, to repeat the motion to ensure all commissioners understand what they're voting for, and then that it's also clear for the record.
okay.
Thank you.
so is there a motion on the floor now?
Yes.
There is. Okay. I missed that part.
You want to repeat it?
Please.
I'd like to motion to approve half day rentals. That constitutes morning rental and afternoon rental. Morning rental is from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. and afternoon rental is from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. and a full day rental.
I second that motion as stated.
Commissioner Raj Singh seconds the motion to approve the half-day rental that half-day rental that constitutes morning rental from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. and afternoon rental from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. and a full-day rental.
And Commissioner Sharma gets to vote tonight. Meninder Singh's.
Oh, so should we
Watson.
have him come here then?
It's fine.
That's fine, okay.
Is it open for discussion? Not yet.
No, now it's, we have to vote on it.
First vote or first discussion?
Camille, is it a discussion now after the second motion?
They could reopen discussion.
Okay, now invite discussion on by commissioners on the motion. So we have first, we have a motion and a second. So yes, it is open for discussion.
My question, Commissioner Vishal, is that if someone wants to book, let's say, not 8 to 1 or not 2 to 8, just this is clarifying question. If they want to do between 11 to something else, they don't want 8 to 1, or can we specify that? Means if someone wants 11 to 4, that's still half a day, yes or no? That I think we need to identify that also. How many hours will be half a day?
Well, I mean, the thing is that we already said we want to incentivize full day. So then there would be no reason to go to full day if you open it up, if folks can pick up whatever time they want.
No, I'm not talking about full day. I'm saying if someone wants to do reservation 11 to 4,
Then they have to rent it for the whole day.
then it will be whole day or half day?
It will be the
Whole
whole day.
It will be
Whole day. So because we have specified the timing for
Okay.
morning rental and afternoon rental.
Okay,
Because if we do, if we try to do in the middle, then it just goes back to hourly rentals as opposed to,
Okay.
Yeah.
no, that's good. That's fine. I just wanted to clarify that. The other question is okay, this is just for the half days. This motion is for half day and full day,
Yes.
correct?
That's
All
correct.
right. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm just waiting for you to call for a vote.
Okay, okay, so thanks for the discussion. We'll take a vote. Commissioner Green,
Aye.
Commissioner Raj Singh,
Aye.
Commissioner Pfister.
Aye.
Alternate Commissioner Sanjay Sharma.
Aye.
Aye. The motion passes unanimously to approve the final approve the half-day rental that constitute morning rental from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. and afternoon rental from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. and full-day rental. Right, so
Mr. Chair, I would like to,
congratulations to everyone for passing that.
I would like to make a motion to approve with having approved the motion. Approve item 5A with the following stipulations. That the fee schedule should be 120 for 6 tables, 90 for 3 tables, and 60 for 2 for full day, and 70% less for each of those for half day. And non-residents pay 50% more than the base rate.
So
Is this discussion?
He made a motion. Now he
Yeah.
needs a second.
So
yeah, we need a second for that.
I second it.
All right, Commissioner Green seconds the motion to approve pricing of $120 for full day for 6 tables. $90 for full day for 3 tables, and $60 for full day for 2 tables, and 70% off the price for half day rentals. And also to charge 50% premium to non-residents for picnic table rentals. Now I open it up for discussion.
Okay, I just want to say, and based off of Umar's statement and me doing my math too, that we do the 70%. However, instead of $84, it's 85, that it's just an even number. So I would propose 85, 65, 45 for the half days for the other ones.
Could you say that again?
So when you do the math at 70%, it comes up, let's say of 120, it comes
Basically, round it up to the nearest $5.
the nearest dollar, yeah. So instead of it being
Nearest
80,
$5. Yeah. Instead of 84, it'll be 85.
85, then
yeah, so everything would end in so instead of it being 43, it would be 45. Instead of it being 60, I think it was 60, might have been 63, 42, something like that, but round it up to the nearest 5.
Camilla, would Commissioner Singh have to amend his motion then?
Yes.
Okay.
We need to amend the motion.
if you guys somebody could do the math and give me the second numbers, 85, 65, 45. Okay, I would like to amend my original motion with the following stipulation. Approve item 5A with the following stipulations. 120 for 6 tables, 90 for 3 and 60 for 2 tables, that's for full day. For half day, 85 for 6 tables, 65 for 3 tables, 45 for 2 tables, and that the district charge 50% of base rate for non-residents.
I second the motion.
Is your microphone on?
Commissioner Green approves the motion to approve the pricing of $120 for 6 tables for full day rental and $85 for 6 tables for half day rental. $90 for 3 tables for full day rental and $65 for 3 tables for half day rental. $60 for full day rental for 2 tables and $45 for 2 tables for half day rental and 50% premium to non-residents. Now it's open for discussion again with amendments.
You think non-resident 50% is not, don't you think it's too much? It maybe 40%.
Mr. Sharma, non-residents have not paid their fair share in taxes to the city or the district.
Have we seen that kind of jump in
I think-
non-resident fees?
Well, I mean,
50%?
looking at the screen, you can see the 50% falls in line with 171.51.
You know, we have a lot of people that come from out of town to our
Right.
parks,
I see.
and we still have to maintain that
Right, right.
because we have beautiful parks. So I don't think
Okay.
it is too much.
I agree, 50% is fine. They're not paying anything else. Residents are already paying for, so it's a fair deal.
Okay, thank you for the discussion. We'll take a vote. Commissioner Green,
Aye.
Commissioner Raj Singh,
Aye.
Commissioner Fisher,
No.
Commissioner, alternate Commissioner Sanjay Sharma.
Aye.
Okay, the motion passes with aye from me also. So the motion passes with vote of 4 to 5 to approve the final
4 to 1.
4-1, yes. 4-1 for approval of the pricing of $120 for 6 tables for full day and $85 for 6 tables for half day. $90 for $90 for full day for 3 tables and $65 for half day for 3 tables. $60 for 2 tables for full day and $45 for 2 tables for half day, and 50% premium for non-residents. Thank you, everyone, for your participation. So
Staff recommends that the commission approve the policy and recommend it to the Board of Directors for adoption. I'll need that as well.
That was stated in my motion.
Oh, I'm sorry. You mentioned the Board of
Yes,
Directors for
I
adoption.
started my motion with the approve item 5A with the following stipulation.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Will we have a discussion on other items before we approve the policy full? Anything else? For example,
no,
That motion just passed.
the motion is
Five,
passed.
not
Yeah.
price, other things, just like, for example, prioritization or couple of other things.
I think we've
Cancellation.
discussed all of that, but we were all in agreement with those policies or those. So can we bring it up for another discussion, or is it somebody has to?
So
I think the
Amendment?
motion,
the opportunity has been brought to the previous meetings and tonight to bring up those comments. And then, but a motion was made to pass it as it is, and it was approved.
No, the price is fine. I'm talking about, like, for example, the question regarding the prioritization.
Yes, so we've had opportunities for those comments and suggestions
Okay.
at last month's meeting and then this meeting. So
Okay.
That's close.
I have a question regarding the prioritization piece. So just,
We got to move on.
Yeah,
Ah,
this is
Yeah.
this is all.
This is not the
closed.
time.
All right, moving to item number 6, discuss and review the contract instructor handbook and provide staff with recommendations. Do you have a presentation, Laura, for that?
yes, I do. So again, this isn't for approval. It's just for your recommendations. It's an internal process and procedure. It's something that's new to Mountain House. So it was developed. So Parks and Recreation Departments offer several services to communities that include lifelong learning and discovery. Recreation programs are the pillar in recreation as they offer opportunities to learn new skills, enrich one's lives. It's actually one of the 4 pillars of Parks and Recreation, as noted there in our graphic. So recreation classes are typically in the arts, sports, health, fitness, enrichment, all kinds of different categories. They're often divided into age groups and abilities: teen, youth, adult, senior, adaptive. And typically these classes are single subjects and they're taught by professionals who are skilled in that specific subject area. They typically have extensive experience and a lot of times they have certifications in their field. So this draft that you have in your packet contains instructors' rights, responsibilities, business requirements, insurance requirements, policies, procedures, and the like. This handbook contains requirements needed to run a high-quality program to ensure that their instructors have all the required skills and certifications, and they meet the highest safety standards. So many of these requirements will be reviewed with the district's attorney, the risk manager, human resources department before it's implemented. So the draft that you see is still a rough draft. There's some, just a lot of editing that still needs to be done. But just to define an independent contractor, they're usually individuals who have maybe a particular skill or a hobby or interest. Sometimes they're small or home-based businesses. They may even be a local brick and mortar business. Sometimes we've utilized gyms or art studios. And then sometimes they're a professional business organization that specialize in a single subject. Independent instructors create their own curriculum and they set their own prices. There's actually a state law that mandates that the cities don't dictate those prices or the curriculum. We have a few facilities. We have the Unity Center, the TH1 room here in the town hall, and the Firehouse Community Room. And many of the requirements will be reviewed again by our risk management attorney, human resources. So in your packet, and I have it on the screen, I have all of the pages up on the screen. I'll go through it briefly. We just have information on how to become an instructor, how to submit a proposal. We need the dates, times, class description. There's an application and a proposal form. We let them know what their rights and responsibilities are. There are certain prerequisite requirements before we can enter an agreement. That would be their fingerprint clearance, if they're teaching to children or to seniors. Other cities I've been with, there's a mandated reporting, which is basically if you suspect child abuse, you're required to report it. Everything that's highlighted right now are things that have to be definitely run by a risk manager or HR. TB testing is also a requirement a lot of the times when they're teaching with children. We want to make sure that they teach, that they're ADA compliant, that they have an inclusion plan for any kind of student that needs any accommodation. We talk about discrimination and harassment. And then if we choose to then go forward with that contractor, we'll enter into an agreement with them. We'll have a consultant agreement, which is a standard contract with the district. They'll be required to possess a business license. Again, we're checking to see if that's still a requirement in the county. They'll need to provide a W-9 and their insurance. And then once all of those have been supplied and everything's been signed and we accepted, we have some policies and procedures in-house. We talk about how to work class cancellation, how to get a roster. Luckily, with our online program, the instructor can get it online. We ask them about their classroom setup. We tell them about their tardiness and their professional conduct. We also let the instructor create their own prices. We give examples on how to create that price. Typically, contract instructor is on what we call a 60-40 split. The instructor gets 60% of the registration and the district or the city would get 40%. And typically that 40% covers any kind of administration costs, marketing, let's see what it's like. Anything that is contract management, marketing, admin support, building maintenance, merchant fees, etc. We also outline how they get paid and when they get paid. We've outlined here how students register and withdraw. We have the policies about how the participant can withdraw. They can withdraw online or they could submit a form. We talk about the safety. We have accidents and incident reports, first aid, releasing of minors. We talk about the various ways to market the programs. We offer all different, the few facilities that we have. And then at the back of the packet, we have a checklist, which is primarily for staff, but it's also for the instructor to know what to turn in. Then we have an application form, and it's treated just like any other staff person. We would call their references and check on their experiences. Then we ask for the class proposal form, which is more of the meat of the program that they want to offer. Then we want to make sure that they understand that is it meeting our objectives in this focus section? Is it connecting people? Is it increasing safety? Is it improving health and wellness? We also ask the instructor what their intended outcomes are so that they're more strategic and about their program that they're offering. And then we ask, what's the need for the program? You know, if they want to offer a knitting program, but we've got 10 other knitters in Mountain House, is there really a need? So we ask those kinds of questions of the contract instructor. So again, it's just a really comprehensive instructor handbook. It's something that's new to Mountain House, but after this gets implemented, we intend to start recruiting instructors based on community feedback. So we have gotten community feedback before, but since it's been a while since we have surveyed the community, we thought we'd go out to the community and ask what kind of classes they wanted, what kind of price they would feel comfortable with, what's their price point. Then we'll go out and we'll search for these instructors, and then we'll start implementing a program. And my hope is that we'll have an actual activity guide printed one day that will list all of our programs, which would also include rental information and special events. So Anyway, that concludes my report. I'm just looking today for any kind of feedback or recommendations that you might have in soliciting contract instructors or working with them.
So Laura, on this page 18 where you have class proposal form, so
Mhm.
the categories enrichment, so that is only age group for 0, is that?
No,
What
so
is
it's
this?
categories on one side and then the age group. So the idea is the instructor would click, they want to teach art, so they check that box, and then they want to teach it maybe for preschoolers, so they would check that box in the age category.
But if they want to teach for a different age group, that's still a
They
possibility.
can click as many age groups as they want for that particular
Oh, I
category.
got it. It's not 1-to-1, it's.
Yes, exactly.
It's crisscross.
It's
Okay.
crisscross.
Yeah, okay. Can we implement this for tennis also?
I'm
I
sorry.
just want to address, like, they've been sitting here. Do you have any, you want to make any comments or? Not, okay.
A public comment was at the beginning.
This was a Parks and Rec meeting, so we just discussed park and recreational, sorry. I think you wanted to discuss zoning.
So the tennis policies were actually approved at the last meeting? And then it wasn't on the agenda, and public comment is typically at the very beginning of the meeting. Oh,
Yeah, there was a section at the start for public comment, so I think, yeah, sorry about that.
And what does that mean? It was not clarified. I think.
the tennis item wasn't on today's agenda? No, it's not on the agenda.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry.
No, those are the meeting minutes from our last meeting in March when they approved the tennis policy. And at the end of the meeting, it was adjourned to today's meeting. It doesn't mean that the item comes back to today's meeting. Last week, that's just the minutes from last month's meeting.
So the tennis policy now goes to the board for final approval. And when it does, look out for the MHCSD board agenda. When it's agendized on there, you will have an opportunity to comment on the tennis board policy there. Yes.
Sorry, guys.
Thank you for coming.
Sorry, guys, for derailing that discussion, but just didn't want them to feel despair that they just have to leave.
Yeah, I do believe that they misunderstood in the beginning that that's when public comments were.
Is this for discussion now? The instructor handbook?
Yes.
Yes.
Just a few questions. So Laura, is this for like someone wants to do their programs in one of the facility here, CSD, and they charge their own rate? Is this for them?
Yes.
Okay. What is different from the last time? What has changed?
We've not had a handbook like this before.
Huh?
We don't have a handbook like this right now.
Okay. So this is the first time.
Yes.
So the other question is, there can be coaches who will be teaching classes, but the owner is different. Who we define the instructor here, the one who's teaching the class?
It could be either or.
They are different, let's say. So,
So if a coach wants to, are you talking about tennis?
this is for what? This is for tennis?
It could be for anything.
Anything, non-sport also, right?
It can be a sport too. So if the
Sport and
soccer,
non-sport both?
if a soccer coach wanted to teach a lesson out at the field, they would be an independent contractor through this process.
Okay. And is it same for the non-sport? Someone wants to do the computer classes, for example?
Yes, it's, as I've said, there's different categories: enrichment, STEM programs, art classes, dance classes.
And
So
my only
this
question is,
would apply to a instructor who is using public facilities for teaching those categories,
yeah,
correct?
so I just want to be clear on that. So let's say, Raj, you are booking the rooms for classes, but coaching will be done by someone else. Who should fill this?
Are you talking about an instructor or a coach?
So coach is working for instructor.
No. No, they're one and the same.
Okay.
So when you
So-
say coach, are you talking about a sport?
Non-sport. Let's say computer class, Python,
Okay, so
game design, for example.
yeah, so
That-
you're calling it a coach or
So instructor is teaching, that's instructor.
yeah,
So he or she will go through this.
yes.
Okay. The person who's booking the room,
Nobody's
different.
booking. No, it's the instructor. They're not booking the room at all. We are booking it. The
okay,
instructor submits their proposal and
Got
then
it.
we find a location for them and then we book it internal.
okay, got it. Thank you.
So if I can just make a clarifying comment, Laura, and you can correct me. So this is where an instructor who wishes to offer something is going to get into contract with the CSD to offer those services. The CSD is going to collect the money. They're going to do the marketing. They're going to provide the facility and other stuff. And as you said, there'll be a 60-40 split. So 60% goes to the instructor, 40% goes to the CSD.
Correct.
Correct. And this doesn't impact anybody privately still using the CSD facilities, like renting out space. That's completely different. They're going to do that independently. This has got nothing to do with that.
Correct. Those people would be reserving the facility to offer their
Yeah.
own programming.
Got it. So privately, if someone is doing, that's nothing to do with this one.
If they want to rent the facility and run their own program, they can. There are cost benefits to being a contract instructor, however.
But they don't have to.
No, they don't have to. They can rent the facility. However, district facilities, the priority is for district programs first. So a knitting instructor contracted to us has priority over a knitting instructor who wants to rent the facility.
And Laura, who makes the decision on the contractor? Is that staff makes that call, or does it come back to board for approval?
No, it doesn't come back to the commission at all.
Okay.
I believe we have a public comment too on the message. The question from Louisiana FAM, does this also include social media marketing for those enrichments so residents can find and use it easily? Absolutely. So it does, the 40% also includes the marketing that staff will do for all of the programs.
All right, great.
Any other questions or recommendations?
No additional questions on this. But I think it's a great initiative for Mountain House to have contractors and offer additional activities for residents. And Laura, there is nothing to approve on this. This is how it is.
But I appreciate the feedback or questions. If not, we'll go ahead and move on.
Moving to 6B, future agenda items.
So thank you for getting through the picnic policies, tennis policies, and athletic field policies. Our next on the agenda will be indoor facility rental policies and then special event. Those will be coming in the next couple of months. We'll also be coming back with the pricing guidelines. And then after we do that, we'll have the recreation fees that we'll bring back and as well as the sponsorship policy. And then we will talk about a concession agreement. And you ask, what's a concession agreement? For example, there's a group in town that would like to build a storage, or I'm sorry, a batting cage at one of our parks. So we would like to create a concessions agreement. And essentially that would be, we would allow them to build it in this particular spot. They would pay all the costs for it, but we would allow them to use it. And then we would allow other people to use it as well. So we would allow the public to use it. That's just an example of a concessions agreement. So we've had a couple groups come to us and ask those particular kinds of questions. So they'll be brought forth to the commission at some point.
And this is, again, pay to play, right? If somebody wants to use the batting cage, the concession person.
Exactly, exactly. So typically the user that installed it would probably have first priority. And then after that point, it would be open to the public. So there's, we'll give you this if you give us that. That's typically what the concessions agreement. And then again, just a reminder, any additional items that on the agenda can be recommended by the commission. So if any time the commissioners want to put something on the agenda, they mention it during this particular item, then the chair and staff will discuss and put it on a future agenda.
Can this be discussed now?
Yes.
I think we discussed that what about the new programs, recreational programs, which we can think about and can be added in the park and recreation? As you know, you all must have seen, like in Howland Park Recreation, they have program run by the own park and recreation, whether it's tennis program or soccer or sports, entertainment, dance. I think we have not discussed that so far. We are doing the fixed stuff, which have been, this already been discussed in the last 3-4 meetings. What about the new things which we brainstorm and think about and can be added if that matches with the interest of people here, residents? That's why I was bringing about survey results. If we had survey which shows what residents want to see, what kind of program, and we discuss that in a meeting, one of the meetings or a couple of meetings, and then we think about adding that into the park and recreation programs.
Yeah.
Like sports, arts, aquatics, music, senior program, workshop, game design, creative writing. We can think about internship also for high schoolers too. When we run these programs, the CSD can hire students who can work as a internship and help in these programs too. But that's a second thing. But there are a lot of scope of doing, because right now we don't have, other than tennis and all that sports a little bit, we don't have much diverse stuff offered so far.
Right.
So that's what I was talking about. Like we need to bring that into discussion.
So we will solicit instructors, or the instructors will come to us. So we'll solicit based on community feedback. So we'll try and find those instructors. Also, it happens both ways. Somebody in the community may come to us and say they want to recommend a program that we've never heard of.
Okay.
Then they go through the approval process. And then if we decide to go forward with them, then we'll do the contract. So the commission, really after this point, I would share with you community feedback, and then you would share what you've heard from the community as well. And then I and my staff will then solicit those types of instructors.
Does that fall up under the category that you just read in the handbook? The
Yes.
contractors and stuff that will come and teach like sports and dance.
Exactly.
And STEM.
That thing will fit into this.
Exactly.
And there is a park and recreation book, which Laura, you have seen it, you have worked in so many organizations, can go out. So we have multiple programs running by park and recreation.
Yeah.
That will be very good and economical, because then we can control the price too.
We cannot control instructor price.
No. Well, if it's a group, I'm not talking about in the sense that, okay, there is a price, but then you can decide your price with them. Okay, this is the price. We don't want to go above this price.
We could make that recommendation. Yeah.
So if you look at any park and recreation commission, Tracy, Manteca, they're not super expensive. They are.
There's a
reasonable.
certain price point per community.
Yes.
Some communities have higher price point, some much lower.
Right. No, I'm just saying at least there is a diverse variety of things offered.
Yes, that's our
Yeah.
goal.
Is there a community feedback you have already, or
No, not really. We haven't surveyed anybody other than seniors. So using seniors as an example, we sent out surveys, we posted on the website, we email blasted, we hosted a coffee chat, we got their feedback. And now based on their feedback, we're offering programs for them. Slowly, but surely we'll have a senior program. So we'll do the same for the rest of the community.
okay?
All right, anybody else would like to add anything for future agenda items? Any comments, moving to 7, any comments by Parks and Recreation commissioners and staff on non-agenda items?
Mr. Chair, I would like to thank Madam Manager for her patience and hard work and research for the last 3 months on this policy that we have approved today. Thank you and your staff very much.
Oh, absolutely.
I echo that. I would like to make a comment on this topic too. Well, separate topic, but Wickland Field, I've made a request a few weeks ago to have the trees trimmed on the baseball field. That's very important that we get that hopefully done soon, because we're also going to be hosting TOC tournament in early June. So right now the trees are coming into the field to play. So hopefully we can get that addressed soon.
Did you do that request through the GoGov app? Or,
I don't know if I did that. I did talk with Olivia directly though about it. And I think she put in a work order for it, she said too, but I haven't, and they're still not trimmed. So
okay.
I can put in a request though on Go Request or whatever that app is.
Yes, and that's actually the best way to do it because it creates a ticket and a
Yeah.
timeline and it notifies supervisors as well. And then you can always follow up and go back on and see where they are in that process. But I'll double up too and check on tomorrow.
Okay, thanks.
Laura, I think there's a public comment online.
Can someone please recommend an agenda item for the park amenities in South Community Park and Neighborhood Park B?
Yeah, this is my question, and I was wondering if one of the people on the commission could put that on the agenda because the area has been rezoned and the residents would like to know the timeline of when the park will begin build out and what amenities the park will contain. The parks plural.
Ms. Pham, if I may, or Chair, if I may, or would you like to address Ms. Pham?
Yes, please. No.
Oh, Ms. Pham, public comment is typically at the beginning of the meeting, and the chair opened and closed public comment at the beginning of the meeting. So the recommendation is it's purely for the commissioners to recommend future agenda items. But if you come to the next meeting and during the public comment at the beginning, you can make this recommendation to the commission.
Okay, thank you.
I don't have a problem adding it to the future agenda.
And I can certainly provide an update too. So if you want to put in an agenda and formalize it, we can do that as well.
So
One
do I-
more comment, since we are on item 7 still, Mr. Chair. I do want to thank the members of the public for showing up today and participating online. Folks are doing more of their civic duty, and I think that should be applauded. Thank you.
So do I put a motion on the floor to, is it a motion or no?
No.
Okay.
The chair and I will discuss.
I have one comment. Is still we discussing?
Non-agenda items, yes.
Non-agenda, yeah. One is if we can So we give discount to LUSD, right? In almost every priority, they have it the first priority. Similarly, they can think about opening up some of their facilities or grounds on weekends. For example, high school and a couple of other
You'd have to
places.
bring that up to the school board for that.
Sorry, what?
You'd have to bring it up to the school board.
No, I understand. If we, as it together as a recommendation from Park and Recreation, I don't know if that can be brought to their attention. One individual will go there, they will not make these changes unless there's a huge, I'm just saying is, so we do a lot of favor for them. They can think about opening up some of their facilities on the weekend or weekdays in the evenings. And the second is the smoking signs. I know that's been approved, so if we can add that in the park and also on the website when people make reservation, that will be helpful. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Moving to the next item. Laura, do you have a park and facilities report?
Yes,
to
I
share?
do, actually. We'd like to congratulate Commissioner Greens on council member-elect, official as of July. So according to our bylaws, I'll just read them really quickly. Vacancies of the commission may be filled by an alternate member by a majority vote of the commission. If an alternate member is unavailable or unwilling to serve, the vacancy must be filled by recommendation from the board president, no less than 14 days prior to the meeting. So I will put on the agenda next month that we'll vote in one of the alternates to serve effective July 1st. And then just a reminder, our special events are kicking up May 1st. We have, which is a Wednesday. I realize it's in the middle of the week. It's the middle of the day, 10 to 1. We have our Senior Health and Wellness Expo, one of the first items that we're addressing for seniors other than the coffee chat. We have a number of vendors, health and wellness experts, local retailers will be there. It'll be at the Unity Center. So we're expecting a large crowd. Saturday, May 4 from 10 to noon, we're having our bike rodeo out here in the plaza. It's a free event for kids 5 to 12. We're giving away, we're raffling off bikes, 2 bikes for boys and 2 bikes for girls, a little bike and an older kid's bike. And bike helmets, we're giving those away for free. And all of these have been donated by the Royal Kings, the Mountain House Flag Football, the Sheriff's Department, and the Fire Department. So we've gotten a lot of great donations. And then Saturday, May 18, from 6 to 9 is our first Music in the Park. We're kicking it off with the Breakfast Club, which is an 80s rock band. So we're really excited about kicking off our Music in the Park series. So, and that concludes my update.
Mobile rock, 80s rock, Megadeth and Led Zeppelin, all of that music.
Yeah, we'll have a booth there too. So, and lots of food vendors and retail vendors. And lots of neon and.
You said senior event?
Is there what?
Senior event, the one you mentioned.
The singing?
Senior event.
Oh, senior event on
yeah.
May 1st.
Okay.
All right, can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I motion.
Commissioner Green moves to adjourn. Is there a second?
I second that motion.
Commissioner Raj Singh seconds. All in favor say aye.
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 Meeting is adjourned until May 15th.
May 15.
Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, Laura. Thank you. Ego, right?